Yo guys, what is going on? Got some BT7 gameplay for you guys. Super excited to finally be playing hybrid format. So my buddy on the top is playing a yellow-purple hybrid deck, mainly yellow focus, but then you are playing the purple source for with your eggs as well as like Gazimons and stuff, just because you don't really need your eggs in the purple or in the yellow hybrid deck just because you're evolving on top of your tamer so much. So we're going to reveal top 5 with the Pokemon. Still can't really tell what he's playing, but I promise it's a yellow hybrid deck. And then we're going to add a Kare to our hand there, I believe, and then put the rest on the bottom. Suzanomon is still a really powerful card as well, although not quite as insane without the Mega Digimon Fusion. So I'm going to go ahead and start my turn. I am playing the Black Jessmon, aka Doru Goramon. This deck wants to establish a really big stack and just punch your opponent really hard. It can also do some cool stuff with the boss monster as well as some of the lower levels, like the Dorugamon there. During your opponent's turn, it becomes a blocker if you've got X-Antibody either in its sources or somewhere else on the field. Doru Greymon lets you protect itself from DP reduction and deletion by sticking something underneath it. And then Dorugamon, the big guy, Dorugoramon, whatever, that guy lets you blow stuff up and punch really hard for a big amount of DP. So then we're just going to see a TK played for a cost of 4, looking at the security stack and grabbing a Zephyrmon. I do apologize for the card text not being in English, but I will be doing my best to explain what those cards do. So that is, the Zephyrmon lets you evolve over a yellow tamer as if it was a level 3 Digimon, and then I think it has another effect where during the end of until the end of your opponent's next turn, your security Digimon get plus 3000 DP or something. That part's not super relevant. The main thing is that you just get to put on top of a hybrid as a finisher card and just an aggro card in general. I'm going to go ahead and start. I've got the Doru Goramon in the breeding area. He also has this when attacking once per turn, when you place an X-Antibody underneath him, you then get to delete a number of Digimon with play cost like X or lower, play cost X being the number of materials that are attached to him. So basically, however many materials you get dictates how big of a stack on your opponent's side of the field you can delete. And then not to mention, when you do stick something underneath him, the Dorimon, I believe it's called, the egg, the mini Dorimon, lets you then draw a card, and then you get various other effects, security attack +1, plus DP, etc. So then we're just going to see a Zephyrmon Digivolved on top of the Tamer for 2, and then a Jet Sylphimon recovering one after being Digivolved for a cost of 1. But keep in mind, since the Pokemon is on the field, the first evolution will be a 0 cost, or you're gaining 2 after you pay 2, so essentially 0. So all that interactions just for a cost of 1. Then Jet Sylphy will put my opponent back to a 6 security, which is really insane because you just get to get a free recovery off of a 1 evolve ultimate. So there's just so much value to be had in the yellow hybrid deck. So then Pokemon is going to swing its security, run into a Dorugoramon, and then Zoe is going to be played. Zoe has the effect where on play you get to look at your security, add any hybrid or 10 warriors, and then recover 1. So it's very similar to TK, except you can only grab hybrids and 10 warriors, which, fun fact, is not color restricted, but you're usually only ever going to grab the Zephyrmons or the Jet Sylphies or the Kazemons as well. So then we're going to see Zoe played, leaving me with just 1 memory. I'm going to bring out my big boy and then going to swing at security, and then Dorugoramon's effect, I'm going to go ahead and stick an X-Antibody underneath. So then we're going to put Doru Greymon underneath the stack, so that is a total of 6 materials, I believe. So then unfortunately still can't delete the Jet Sylphimon because she does have a play cost of 7, but he's going to be checking multiple security cards. So 2 extra checks from the Doru Greymons and then 1 extra check from the Tsunarizumon for a total of 4 checks, which is quite crazy, especially because he's like 16,000, 17,000 or something crazy at this point. Okay, so then we're going to run into a Seraphimon, a Zoe for the first 2 checks, I believe, and then going to run into a Kazemon, and then a Jet Sylphimon, so nothing that really threatened my stack here. And then I think I'm going to follow it up with a Zwart Defeat, which I think is such an amazing card this format, especially because there's so many Tamer decks running around, and we still really don't have that many ways of of interacting with tamers, basically the only ones being Zwart Defeat, and then the Lucemon Chaos mode, as well as the option card that lets you bring out Lucemon. So then we're going to see the Gazimon come out of the breeding area on my opponent's side of the field. Gazimon's really nice because you get to just prevent your opponent from gaining memory, but then of course the Xiaomon underneath it also lets you get retaliation if you do have 10 or more cards in your trash. So not sure what his card count is right at this moment, but we are going to swing with the Gazimon at security, I suppose, and then run into a Dorugamon, deleting the Gazimon, and then leaving my opponent with Jet Sylphimon. Going to swing into the Chumon. They're going to live. Now the thing with the yellow hybrid deck is that aside from something like a Wyvern's Breath and a Suzanomon, they really don't have too much in terms of board removal of like big stacks. They've got the Schwartz Laser card that lets you delete level 5s or lowers, but this Zwart Defeat is a little bit of a problem for him because the megas that they play are usually like Seraphimon. Some lists are playing Shine Greymon, but even then I'll be able to delete his Digimon if he does delete my Zwart Defeat. I'm just going to go ahead and run over his Jet Sylphie there, and then going to play the Dorumon, allowing me to search the top 3 cards of the deck. I believe it's add any X-Antibody as well as your Coda Tamer, so then going to go ahead and just add 1 card there, and then the rest will go to the bottom. So the opponent is going to start with 1, hatch the Xiaomon, Digivolve into the Gazi, which unfortunately for him doesn't really do too much against my deck, but then the Schwartz Laser is going to come down, deleting the Dorumon, which was a little bit unfortunate. You don't really want to resolve that for just like 1 rookie. However, my opponent was in threat of losing the following turn if he didn't have something in security that would save him. So I think that was a pretty decent play, and then I'm going to start with 5, probably bring out the Tsunorizamon, just start swinging, so going to attack into security, run into the TK, and the final reveal off the TK is the Suzanomon, so my opponent does not get the recovery +1, so then I'm just going to be able to take it with the Zwart Defeat, guys. So then for game 2, I believe my opponent is going to make me start again, hatching the Dorimon, Digivolving into the Tsunorizamon, and then I drew into the Kota Dolmoto card, which is a really nice tamer, allowing you to reveal the top 4 cards of your deck at any X-Antibody amongst those cards you're in. So you see double Alphamon as well as Dorumon, but I'm going to grab the Dorumon, which will then further search into my deck later on. So then I'm going to go ahead and grab the Dorumon, and then realize that that needs to go to the bottom of the deck as well. And then my opponent is going to Digivolve into the Gazimon, as well as play the TK for a cost of 4, allowing him to grab the Zoe there. So that was a pretty interesting grab. Usually you do want to leave your like Zoes and TKs in security, but it's possible that there were a bunch of other like purple cards and maybe Suzanomon or something, or maybe he didn't want to just grab any of the powerful option cards in the security as well. So we're going to see Zoe grabbed and then played for a cost of 3, which will then allow him to look at his security once again and then grab any hybrids or anything like that amongst those cards, but there were none amongst those cards, which I'd imagine that would be the case, because if there were, he probably would have just left Zoe in security. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and bring out the Tsunorizamon, evolve into the Dorugamon for a cost of 2, which is not currently a blocker because it needs to have X-Antibody in its traits, or like in its evolution sources, or another Digimon on field. But then we are going to go into the Doru Greymon, which is such a great card, being able to push out of your security, or sorry, of your breeding area, and being confident that your Digimon will not die, because now I can put another Doru Greymon in under him, or just like any X-Antibody, and now this Digimon cannot be deleted by any card effects, and it cannot have its DP reduced, which is very relevant, of course, against this purple deck, which has both ways to reduce DP and cards like that. So then we're going to see a Schwartz Laser, but my opponent didn't realize exactly what my Doru Greymon does, so we're not gonna do that. We're instead going to play the one of Reinforcing Memory Boost. Let's go, being able to grab any one of those 2 cards, which unfortunately those aren't the best reveals to like put in security, but we're going to put the Kazemon on top of the security stack and then add the Zephyrmon to the hand. So then I'm going to start my turn with 3, of course, because of my Kota, and then going to hatch the Dorimon and Digivolve into the Dorumon there, drawing into the Pride Memory Boost, which is a pretty cool card, but then we're just going to go into the Dorugamon, Dorugoramon, you know what I mean, a lot of Dorus here. So then we're going to go ahead and Digivolve him, and then when attacking I'll be able to use his effect to stack stack in underneath him an X-Antibody, which will then allow me to delete my opponent's Gazimon, triggering draw 1 off the Doruemon. And look at that, we have another 4 security checks because of the 2 Dorugreymons as well as the Tsunorizamon, and not to mention he is just a ton of DP. He gets +1 for each X-Antibody in his effect, or like in his stack from Dorugoremon's effect, and then he gets a DP boost from, I think, the champion as well. So then we're just going to run through his whole security stack. Schwarzlater didn't do anything, Suzanomon didn't do anything, so now we're in a pretty good position. So then I'm just going to go ahead and play a Pride memory boost, debating into the Zord defeat, but I didn't think it was really necessary because this way I could potentially put another Digimon on board, but that's not actually going to happen, so the rest are going to be trashed there, I believe. And then you see in my hand, I've got the Black Hybrid Grumblemon, I've got Dorumon coming out of secured breeding area, so I should be in still a good position. The only thing you can really do is like Wyvern's Breath me, or potentially like recover multiple cards if he goes like Jet Selfimon, and then like Serafimon on top of that. That could be pretty nice. We're going to see the Bokomon played for 3, revealing Lucamon Chaos Mode, Akari, a Jet Sylphie, as well as a Zephyr, so lots of options to be able to grab here. Chaos Mode is a very interesting tech choice, especially because you can play like the purple option card that brings them out in this deck, so that is really, really cool. So then we're going to grab the Kari as well as the Zephyrmon, I believe, and then now Bokomon's on the field, we can evolve into hybrids for a 0 cost. So then Zephyrmon is going to be evolved for 2, but then of course Bokomon's going to gain you back 2. Jet Sylphimon will be Digivolve for 1, and then on Digivolve you get to recover 1 if you've got a hybrid or a tamer in stack, so all the way back to 3 security already. And then can we see a Serafimon here? We're going to swing at security first and then live, which is really, really nice. Unfortunate for me, but nice for my opponent. And then I believe his security Digimon also get like +3,000 from the Zephyrmon, and then +3,000 for the Zoe as long as it's on field, so they can become like quite big to the point where it's actually relevant against the Dorugoremon. And then we're going to pop the reinforcing memory boost, go to 3, Digivolve Kazemon for 1, and then bring that out, potentially swing with that, or actually going into yet another Jet Sylphimon. So guys, you can see the recovery of this deck, like the recovery ability is just so disgusting. Being able to do all of this in one turn, and then swing into security, unfortunately going to die to the Dorugoremon. But as long as there's not like anything in security that can get rid of my Dorugoremon, I think we should be fine. We are still at a pretty big threshold of DP. I want to say the 6 materials, all of which are X-Antibody except the egg, so it's +5,000. So 16,000 plus the, I think it's like a plus another 1,000 from each of the champions. So I want to say 18,000 or something. But I'm pretty sure I'm big enough. But regardless, so we're going to go ahead and swing and then delete both of his Digimon because I've got a pretty thick stack as at this point. So then we're going to run into 2 tamers. He's going to check 4 still. And then now that the Zoe's no longer in the inherited, that's that's only +3,000 from the Zephyrmon effect that I have to worry about. So a Suzanomon could potentially kill me here, but other than that, I should be fine. So then going to run into Akari, and then going to check the last security guard, Schwartz Laser, kill the Dorumon, and then suspend the Karis to go back to 1. So pretty nice play by my opponent, but he thought he was safe, but no! We're going to Digivolve into Grumblemon and finish the game, guys. So that's going to be it. Hopefully you got to enjoy. Let me know what you think of these decks down in the comments. It's super fun for us to play, and I hope you enjoy, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.